again. That is, of course, the music of Handel. This is Largo from Xerxes, and I'm here with my friend and colleague Jürgen Petrenko, who's going to join me for our next Pro Musica concert November 8th in the evening this time, 7:30 I believe is the time, but check your calendars just to be sure. And we're going to do the music of Handel, really the life of Handel. And I'm joined by Jürgen because he's going to be playing on the concert with us, but more importantly, he is dragooning someone. He's bringing in other people to join us as well, and one of them is a singer. Can you tell us?
Yes, we're very lucky to have Jennifer Enns Modolo. She's got quite the career going. She's based in Kitchener and often sings with the KW Symphony, and has a wonderful, wonderful mezzo-soprano voice. So she's going to sing a few selections from Handel.
And of course that's crucial because Handel, amongst other things, I mean, he was obviously an instrumental composer, he was an instrumentalist himself, but his real claim to fame was writing both opera and ultimately oratorio.
Well, and the thing with Handel is he is so kind to the human voice. He writes perfectly, absolutely perfectly for singers, and he's wonderful to sing and wonderful to listen to.
We're going to follow Handel's career because he was very peripatetic from a young age. At 18 he already left his little village and moved on to Hamburg to work in the opera. The opera was his big dream, and his dream was to become an opera composer. Of course, you know, you can make it in Hamburg, but that's really still a fairly provincial thing, isn't it, Jürgen? I mean, where do you have to go if you really want to make it in opera?
Well, probably Italy is where you start. That's like, can't go wrong there.
And sure enough, when Handel was 20 years old, off he went to Rome. Via every other, he stopped in Venice, he stopped in Florence, and sort of certainly made connections, and started his musical network, as it were. And he met greatly, or hugely important sort of influences, musical influences in Italy. He met the Scarlattis, he met Arcangelo Corelli, and indeed started working right away in a vocal idiom, not necessarily opera though, was it, Jürgen? It was...
Well, I mean, his first things were really written for the church, like the Dixit Dominus and things like that, which tremendously virtuosic stuff.
But, and the strange thing for me is that here is a Lutheran that's come and sort of established himself as one of the foremost composers of Catholic religious music. He seems a kind of chameleon of sorts.
Well, he's very pragmatic. A good businessman.
He knows which side his bread is buttered on, certainly. Anyway, from there he goes on and he secures a job back in Germany for the court of the Elector of Hanover. He skips out of town on 2 occasions, one of which never to come back, and heads to England because, you know, going back to your comment about that's where the money was. Certainly in Italy was where the opera was, but in England was where the money was, and this is where Handel was sure he could do quite well for himself, and indeed he did. Now, we're going to be playing a number of things. We're going to touch on vocal things, as we mentioned. We're going to play some instrumental things that feature Jürgen on the harpsichord. But to give you an idea, well, what did Handel write for harpsichord? Well, here's a little fragment for the harpsichord. That, of course, is Handel's Harmonious Blacksmith. Why was he writing for the harpsichord? Well, he himself was a keyboard virtuoso. I mean, he wrote for organ, he wrote for harpsichord, and I'm certain he wanted to show off, as most of the composers that sort of followed him, well, and even concurrently with Bach, they wanted to show their ability as a performer as much as a composer.
And this piece starts simply like that, and then it has variations after variations that keep getting more and more complicated.
So indeed, you get to see the limits of his keyboard prowess. We're also going to do something that has been adapted over the years. Handel originally wrote it for harp, a harp concerto, and you'll recognize this, but probably have never heard it in this context on a harpsichord before. And we're going to add add the strings of the Emperor Quartet to give you the full effect of strings and harp, well, it's not harp, but in this case harpsichord, that you'll be able to hear in the comfort of the Reed Hall. And we'll probably do one or two other things, excerpts from, water music, that, who you can't think of Handel without thinking of water music, and then that sort of plays back to the whole escape from Hanover and to England, and this was considered to be the piece that calmed or soothed the savaged beast of the Elector of Hanover. Here we are with something from the water music. So come and join us November 8th, and this is again in the evening, 7:30 at the Reed Hall for the Life and Music of Handel. Thank you.